Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Steel Twins recording studio in the cherry capital of the world, Traverse City, Michigan. Introducing your hosts, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins.
What's up, everybody? It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, it's a long-awaited return of voice acting.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we've been on a bit of a hiatus. We haven't, but we didn't hit our normal week. But you know what? We wanted to be able to get through this week with while getting to our new case. So, it's finally here, guys. It's the trial. It's the trial to end all trials, so to speak. So this is the trial of Dhurke Sahdmadhi. He has finally been captured. He's finally in jail. He was trying to get back to Queen to, find a way to, unlock the secret of the Founder's Orb and have, spiritual power be bestowed upon him, all that crazy stuff for his revolution. But Queen Amara wants the Founder's Orb for her own because she knows what it can do. And now Dhurke Sahdmadhi is on the hook for both the murder of her husband, Inga, Defense Minister Inga. What? And he is also on the hook for the assassination of Queen Amara from 23 years ago. But kids, I got a little bit of a problem with that. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with the fact that she's still alive. What? That is right. Queen Amara, the person long thought to have been assassinated by Dhurke Sahdmadhi, is in fact alive. So that right there should tell you that Dhurke didn't kill her. She's still alive.
Yeah.
So, what twists and turns are we going to be in for next? Who knows? And just a quick couple of notes. This weekend, this Saturday, I believe, are we doing it Friday? Or are we doing it Saturday?
Saturday.
Well, whichever one of those 2 days, be on the lookout because we're going to be doing a very special nostalgic stream, and we will not be alone. We will be joined by my compatriot at the Outside Blitz, the fabulous Scotty Freytown. We are going to be jamming some old school Mario games. He has been telling me all week that he is completely over the moon about this, and we could not be more excited here at the Steel Twins Gaming. We have been a very loyal supporter of the Outside Blitz podcast, and you can check out the Outside Blitz each and every single week on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Those who joined the chat or is about to join the chat, feel free to give us some feedback. Can you hear us? Are we doing good? Is the stream doing good? Anything at all? We just want to be better and better every chance we get.
Yep. We always wonder, are we just talking into the void? Can nobody hear us? Well, we'll find out soon enough. And I think really it's time to get down to business here. So we got ourselves a bit of we got to plow through this meaty episode. So we need to hydrate. We need to energize. So if you have a cap to your bottle, or if you have a pin on your drink, you go ahead and pull that pin back, or twist that cap off with how do you put it?
With a twisty twist.
That episode will always have, I'll never be the same after that. Because folks, a package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Ooh.
That hits the spot.
That mic in there just in case.
They're not going to hear you through that thing. I can guarantee it.
Oh, we'll see.
I guarantee it.
Well, that said, live scene.
Indeed. Let's get in here. Jeez, I've been dying to get through this. Listen, this game, this Apollo Justice trilogy has taken a grand portion of the year to get through. And, man, I can't wait for it to be over. Not that we haven't had fun. It's been a tremendous amount of fun. But I will say, yes, Andrew, everything's working perfectly fine. Trust me.
I'm getting closer here. How in the world did I get myself into this? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Right, that's what Apollo Justice is thinking right now, folks. We are set for the trial of the century. It is Dhurke Sahdmadhi on trial for 2 counts of murder. And one is a high-ranking government official, and the other is the former queen of the region. Folks, it doesn't get any worse than this. Let's conclude. Turnabout. Revolution.
Time to earn your bread, Justice.
Quite literally.
I think it's cutscene time.
You think so?
May 19th, 8:50 a.m., High Court of Queen.
Yeah, we're not messing around in the lobby. We're right in there.
Oh boy.
Nice and quiet. Uh-oh. So
I remember that scene.
Yep, right at the beginning.
May 19th, 9:28, High Court of Queen, accused lobby.
It's complete chaos outside.
Let's just say the Defiant Dragon supporters demonstrating for Dhurke's freedom have taken a very special interest in the outcome of today's trial.
They look about ready to string us up if we lose.
Trials here are pretty much like the ones back home, but with one major difference. The divination seance. The victim's final memories will become a matter for deliberation.
I've heard about that. But they haven't stopped you from winning your cases here in Queen.
True, but it wasn't easy. Still, the memories of the dead are simply another piece of evidence. There's always a way to deal with them if your client is truly innocent.
Well, I know Dhurke is innocent, but...
I have one more big secret. Oh, Jesus. Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth, no matter what it turns out to be. Bro, I don't think we're going to get hit with the express train one more time, because I have no idea what he's talking about.
Me neither.
I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all.
Dhurke, what is that secret you're keeping? Hey, AJ.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Here you go, just like I promised. Founder's Orb added to the court record.
The Founder's form has appeared from within. It seems only the Queen knows the Founder's real name.
Thanks, Stats. Wait, weren't you arrested by the police yesterday? Yep, and I spent the night in the slammer. I had a fine meal, a shower, even a bed. What more could I ask for?
That actually sounds way better than where we're staying.
Just remember, AJ, if Dhurke's found guilty today, we'll all probably be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act, too. Yeah, now you just said something to that effect. That witch Quran wants to take advantage of today to crush our revolution once and for all. The fate of the revolution, and every Quranese person rests on this trial. We're counting on you, AJ. We'll be fine. I'm going to win this one. You'll see.
The trial will begin shortly, Apollo. Let's make our way into the courtroom.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Jesus. Okay, yeah, stakes have never been higher.
May 19th, High Court of Queen. Here we go. Day 1, court is now in session. All rise.
Oh, boy. What Let the trial of Dhurke Sahdmadhi begin.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Majesty.
So it's really come down to this. Don't expect me to hold anything back, Nayuda.
This trial will examine both the murder of Justice Minister Inga Queen and the assassination of the former Queen Amara Queen. First, I believe we should address the murder of Minister Inga. Would that be acceptable, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi? Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
Yes, of course. Please proceed.
What's with him?
How very unlike you, Prosecutor. Is your mind elsewhere this day?
Not at all, Your Majesty.
Are you really going to be able to go through with this, Nayuda?
Well, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, I would be remiss if I failed to voice a concern of mine. I have heard mention that you are son to the accused, Dhurke Sahdmadhi.
You have heard true. Does that fact pose some sort of a problem, Your Majesty?
A father being prosecuted by his own son? Could one possibly deliberate such a case without having personal feelings intervene?
Yes, without question.
Can he really handle this?
Even if it is Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, going against his own father is just...
How can the son of a criminal even be a prosecutor in the first place?
Objection!
Dhurke?
Fellow citizens, you would do well not to underestimate my son. He's not one to allow personal feelings to interfere with the execution of his duty. Isn't that right, Nayuda?
I will not stop until my work here is done.
See? So all you doubters just sit back down before you trip over your own stupidity. Ha 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 ha! Oh my God. The accused will not take the stand without first being summoned. In any case, if Prosecutor Sahdmadhi has no issue with this arrangement, then let us commence the deliberations.
Objection!
Who's saying that?
Garan?
Objection! One moment, if you would. Your Eminence!
Your Eminence, what brings you here?
Oh, she's at the prosecutor's bench.
Your Majesty, it would appear that Prosecutor Sahdmadhi does indeed have some reservations.
No, that's not true.
Did you truly believe you could deceive me, Nayuda Sahdmadhi? One should hold no reservations if one is to stand on these hallowed funerary... Hold on.
Funerary.
One should hold no reservations if one is to stand on these hallowed funerary grounds.
I have none, Your Eminence.
No. It is clear we cannot leave this matter to you. We shall handle the prosecution of enemy of the crown, Dhurke Sahdmadhi, personally. But remain by our side and bear witness to how a true prosecutor enforces the law.
Excuse me, but is the Queen gonna prosecute the case? Is that, kosher?
There is no need for concern. Before we were crowned Queen, we served as a prosecutor.
Really?
As a foreigner, your ignorance can be excused, but know this. The prosecutor in charge of the Queen Amara assassination case 23 years ago was none other than Her Eminence, Queen Queen.
First your majesty, now this. Why doesn't anyone ever tell me these things?
I heard she'd served as the Minister of Justice, but she was also a prosecutor?
I'm guessing she probably moved up the ladder from prosecutor to justice minister.
We prosecuted that case 23 years ago, but no verdict was ever rendered. We had won guilty verdicts in every case until then, for no lawyer could stand up to us. I am at a loss for words. To think I would once more bear witness to Her Eminence at work in the Hall of Justice. Our first trial in 23 years. No quarter shall be given to criminals. We shall prosecute them with all our might.
Oh boy.
I think. Uh-oh. Whoa! My God!
Damn.
Look at her! She
Hello.
Looks like, she looks like a sorceress.
Whoa, what a magnificent sight.
The Queen's retired from her prosecutor days. I think we will get to see it once more. What the? That's Queen Garan?
Talk about an extreme makeover.
It's all coming back now. The feel of my blood pumping through my veins. Woe to you, O enemies of Kurain, for I shall personally slice, dice, and grind you up into hog feed.
I don't suppose I can ask her to roll back to her polite free makeover personality.
Know this, lawyer.
Yes?
Now that I stand as prosecutor, consider your defense's bench a headsman's scaffold. If you wish to leave any last words, I advise you to start thinking of them now. While you still have a head with which to think, that is.
Me? She's dead serious.
Now it is time for the divination seance. Rafa, come forth.
All right, here we go.
Oh boy.
Oops.
That's okay.
Your benevolence, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Your benevolence, I understand it may be difficult for you, but may we proceed with the divination seance?
Yes, let us proceed.
Forgive me for asking, but are you feeling physically unwell? If so, I would advise you to avoid any undue exertion. Your benevolence.
What's wrong? It's like her mind's anywhere but here.
A lot's happened since yesterday. On top of the murder of her beloved father, she found out that he'd been planning a coup. And today she'll have to experience his death through his own eyes.
Yeah, that would be enough to shake anyone up.
Still, seems like she's worse off today than she was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't remember her being this depressed.
We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. Now, if you would excuse us.
Discipline? Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put an edge on this other voice, but go ahead.
Wait. Grant didn't do something to her, did she?
Your Eminence, about today's divination seance. As I understand it, the prosecution has yet to review its content. Is this deviation from protocol a part of your plan? Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, would you care to explain your actions?
Your Eminence, the accused was caught at the scene of the crime. Therefore, I deem no seance would be necessary for such a clear-cut case.
You and your bleeding heart. You seek to spare Rafa the trauma of witnessing her father's death. Is that why you have done this?
not at all.
You were concerned for me, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
That's oddly compassionate of him, all things considered.
Your Eminence, Your Majesty, regardless of what is best for her benevolence, this case is blessed with a bounty of incontrovertible evidence. So I believe we could reach a swift verdict without devoting precious time to a seance.
You have a point. Personally, I would like to spare her benevolence any undue misery. Experiencing the murder of a loved one is a burden no one should have to bear.
Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, Your Majesty, can this trial truly proceed without a divination seance?
I don't think so, Package. I think we're gonna need it. But you know what? Something tells me she's gonna boot and rally.
Ooh, boy.
All right, let's keep our minds on that.
Right. I can't blame her for not wanting to experience her father's murder firsthand.
Your Eminence, what are your feelings on the matter? Shall we have her benevolence return home for some much-needed rest? We shall not. You fools spoil her with your feckless words of compassion. Huh? Listen well, Rafa. You have spoken time and time again about how grown up you are now.
Yes, but...
So, let us see if the royal priestess has truly come into her own. Are you prepared to fulfill your duty and perform the divination seance as you should?
Yes.
That's better. See? Problem solved.
Poor Rafa. Is this really a good idea?
I guess we'll see.
Very well. Let's begin the divination seance. Naina, my robe. Oh,
Looks like Naina's still missing.
It's been a whole day already.
bobbed head.
Yes?
You remove my robe.
What? Why me? Don't keep her benevolence waiting now, Mr. Wright. Can't you see she's ready to begin?
Great. I've been reduced to royal robe remover.
It's like she's grooming Mr. Wright to be Naina's replacement.
Oh, boy.
Very well, Your Benevolence. Please start when you are ready. Come, Rafa. You know what must be done. There is no turning back now.
I know.
The final memories of the deceased. This should be interesting. Okay, so it looks like
Here we
she's
go.
gonna take it from here.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
All right, here we go.
Well, this is probably going to be one of the last times we see this, so... Oh, boy.
Wow. Looks like she's actually gonna go through with this.
No kidding.
Let's sit back. And we back to popcorn eating. Z-Wave, thanks for joining the chat.
Yep.
Hey,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Hey, quick question. Can you hear us?
Man, he is ridiculous about that, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear the echo? Sorry, guys, I had to test that.
Jeez. It's almost like he had some sort of problem, with one of his previous streets.
Okay, we're good. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna be quiet now, and I'm gonna watch this carefully.
We can keep this going.
Yeah.
As we've seen this a couple of different times already. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hey, Z-Wave, hope you brought the Halloween candy, because this is gonna be meaty.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I hope you packed a lunch. 1, 2, 3.
And
Hit it!
that probably didn't.
Didn't what?
There was supposed to be a light.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hang on.
Hold up.
Maybe it's not his real name.
Oh?
What? Hey, wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's... Oh, shit!
Get a medic over here!
Your benevolence. Well, what's wrong? She's fainted. Clear? This is unacceptable. Bailiff, take her benevolence to the first aid station at once.
This is not good.
Man, what happened? She got real
Sick.
Damn, she got sick. Your Eminence, do you have any idea why her benevolence collapsed so suddenly?
It seems she was not ready for what the deceased was to reveal. It overwhelmed her. Her inexperience and immaturity left her ill-prepared to face her father's death. And she said she could go through with it. How very disappointing.
I know someone who's not winning Mother of the Year ever. I mean, of course Rafe is going to be overwhelmed. She's still just a child.
It seems we have no choice but to move on to witness testimony. Your Majesty?
Oh, yes. Let us proceed. Bailiff, summon the first witness, if you would.
All right, there he is. First witness. None other than Dhurke.
The defendant himself. Is this not the accused?
It is indeed. I thought I would give him the opportunity to plead his case. For true justice is more than a unilateral presentation of the facts by the prosecution.
That seems uncharacteristically fair of her.
However, should the accused fail to produce convincing testimony, he, along with his cabal of traitorous lawyers, shall immediately be found guilty, and their heads will roll from their shoulders.
What? I should have known there was a catch.
Your court, your rules. Same as it always was, I see, Garan. Now then, Mr. Dhurke Sahdmadhi, if you could enlighten us as to what happened. Well, I would, if I could. All right, do your best.
Well, time for a little witness testimony. Dhurke explains himself.
I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand. And lying right in front of me was Inga, dead as a doornail. I've no recollection of what happened in the interim, but I didn't kill him. At least I don't think I did. It'd go against everything I believe in. That's interesting. We should probably grill him on that.
That didn't explain squat.
For the record, let it be known, that the accused's fingerprints were all over the murder weapon, and since he was caught in the act, there was no chance for a third party to tamper with it. Well, that certainly seems to point the finger at you, Mr. Sahdmadhi. Even as a lawyer, I have to agree with you there, Your Majesty.
Seriously, Dhurke? This is no laughing matter.
This is exactly what Garan wanted. To have Dhurke try to plead his case, only to fail miserably.
How low can she go?
Prosecutor, behold this most unpleasant of spectacles, and let it be etched into your soul. See how instead of accepting the inevitable, those fish-brained lawyers flounder and flop themselves straight into the abyss of despair.
Yes, Your Eminence. Show me the way.
Now then, would the defense please begin their cross-examination? Oh my God.
Oh boy.
This is ridiculous.
All right, cross-examination time. Dhurke explains himself.
I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand.
Hold it! Hold it!
Yep, sorry.
Do you recall anyone putting the knife in your hand, Dhurke?
Wish I could say I did. I don't remember a thing from before I came to. You think there might have been a third party in the tomb, son?
Yeah, because if he didn't do it, then the real killer must have been there with you.
Objection!
Objection!
You called, Your Eminence? Does she go anywhere without those goons?
Was there a third party in the tomb when you were securing it?
No, Your Eminence. We searched high and low, but found no one of the sort.
And there you have it. All right, I did search the place. Furthermore, my guards had the entire tomb surrounded, so there was no way for anyone to escape.
That's right. No one got in or out without our knowledge. Her evidence on site directives were absolutely flawless.
Do you see now? The presence of a third party is beyond the realm of possibility. The tomb was, for all intents and purposes, completely sealed off from the rest of the world.
What a waste of time.
How could it be any more obvious? Dhurke must be the killer.
Thanks for nothing, gallery guy. As if our graves weren't already deep enough.
Accused, what do you believe about the possible presence of a third party? Well, based on the situation you presented, I'd say the chances are slim to none.
You didn't have to agree with her, Dhurke.
Let the accused's statement be added to his testimony. Very well. Mr. Sahdmadhi, if you would.
It's like the more we press, the thinner a case gets.
Well, let's keep pressing. Maybe we'll work out the wrinkles in it, too. The possibility of a third party being there in the tomb is probably non-existent.
Well, I don't know.
What is he thinking about? A gun or a gemstone, pink butterfly, mysterious bloodstain?
Objection! Your Eminence, I'm afraid this trial will not go exactly as you anticipated, because I could show how there might have been a third party in that tomb.
Oh, how very fascinating. Go on. I do so love a good fairy tale.
We did a luminol test at the crime scene, and we found a bloodstain that didn't match the Justice Minister's blood. I will remind you that neither Dhurke nor Miss Faye were injured during the incident. The thing is, this bloodstain we found had been wiped up by someone.
What's this? But who would have done such a thing?
That's the big question, isn't it? Who wiped up the blood and why?
Probably Nana, but could it be for a different reason?
Thinking about it logically, it must be someone who wanted to conceal their presence at the scene of the crime.
Oh? And to whom do you suppose the bloodstain might belong?
The bloodstain belongs to...
Probably the real killer.
The bloodstain belongs to the real killer. The bloodstain belongs to the real killer, of course. Whoever it was, they were probably shot while they were attacking Minister Inga. And since their blood would give them away, they had to wipe it up. I say this because we know for a fact that the Justice Minister fired his gun in the tomb.
Objection!
Objection! You have the memory of a flea. There was nowhere for anyone to hide. This too is a known fact.
Objection!
Objection! But a bloodstain from a third party means there must have been someone hiding there.
Very well then, tell me this. Where was this third party hiding?
The crime scene was thoroughly searched after it was discovered. So if there was a hiding place, it would have to be somewhere no one would dare look.
Somewhere no one would dare look?
Let's have your answer, Defense. Now, where could a third party have hidden?
Behind the wall or something?
No, the sarcophagus.
Take that!
There's one place no one would search, not even the Queen's Royal Guard, and that would be... inside Queen Amara's sarcophagus. Even now, it's locked up tight. No one would find you if you hid in there. I'm told that it's temperature controlled to preserve the mummy within. But if someone dressed warmly enough, they could withstand the cold for a short time.
This is sacrilege. Surely the perpetrator of such a foul deed would be cursed.
But that's just it. The killer knew everyone would be too scared to open the sarcophagus.
True. The guards were so scared of being cursed they wouldn't even touch it.
And when the coast was clear, the killer made a quick escape from within their frigid confines.
Well now, that does sound like a plausible method of evading capture.
The defense requests a DNA test on the bloodstain. And then we'll see just who the real killer is.
Such insolence!
Such insolence! Bow your head and kneel, lawyer. So your head may be parted from your shoulders.
Huh? But the trial's not even over. Ah! Whoa!
How soon you forget. You are already on the headsman's scaffold. As such, I could order your beheading at any moment.
All I did was request a DNA test.
There is no need to request such a test. Guards, bring it forth now.
Here you are, your evidence.
The police have already identified the source of the bloodstain. The DNA test revealed that the blood is of the traitor Dhurke Sahdmadhi.
What? But Dhurke wasn't injured. So where did his blood come from?
Maybe he coughed it up.
Dhurke's illness. Still, there was a lot of blood. Could he have really coughed up that much? And did he wipe it up to hide his failing health? Dhurke, is it really that bad?
Oh, shoot. You got me.
Mysterious bloodstain updated in the court record.
Analysis reveals that it's Dhurke's blood.
Pay attention, horned devil, for this case has already been solved. You claimed that this bloodstain would lead us to the real killer, did you not?
about that.
Did you or did you not make that claim of your own volition, Defense?
Man walked right into this. Well, man walked right into this.
Oh, man.
Yes, I did.
After she steered you in that direction, that is.
Ugh. I fell right into a trap.
Shades of Edgeworth.
You called it.
Do you see now the folly in opposing the very embodiment of the law? Whatever you say or do shall come to no avail. A third party at the scene of the crime? It's beyond the realm of possibility.
No! Praise be for Queen Garan! The Revenant's legal tactics are beyond compare!
I hate to say this, she really got us good.
The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. My husband and I are the only ones who could open it. Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it.
Can I really discount the sarcophagus as a hiding place, though?
Yeah, maybe not the inside, but the inside of the curtain, maybe.
What if the real killer is still in there?
Wait, uh-oh. Well, it would...
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
That's
yet.
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
No, that's just ridiculous.
I believe we have rebels and sympathizers in the gallery today. It is to you I speak. Have you been listening? Dhurke Sahdmadhi, the one who proclaimed a bloodless revolt, has betrayed your cause by resorting to murder.
No, it can't be. Dhurke would never.
There must be some kind of mistake.
Defiant Dragons and sympathizers are starting to have doubts.
So this is why Garan allowed us to cross-examine Dhurke. By establishing his guilt in Inga's murder, she's effectively damaged his reputation among those who support him.
True, but now we have an even bigger problem.
And now, filthy lawyers, you will honor your end of the bargain. Accept your guilty verdict for your failure to explain your client's actions. Huh? Now, I shall pass judgment upon the criminal, Dhurke Sahdmadhi.
What's this? You shall pass judgment? But your eminence, is that not my role?
Hold your tongue. You are but a figurehead before me, the embodiment of law. Consider yourself dismissed. As Queen of Qurain, I shall now pass judgment upon the accused.
Guilty. Just like that, huh?
I don't know.
I don't know about this shit. Somebody's gonna step in. Somebody's gotta get that hot tag.
Objection! Objection! Wait! You didn't even give me a chance to rebut.
Know when you are defeated, lawyer. But just this once, I am willing to show you the depths of my compassion. Tell me why I should allow these proceedings to continue. Come, convince me. Quick, Apollo. Even if you have to bluff, we've got to keep this trial going. Show her that the crime could have been committed by a third party.
How am I supposed to do that?
Why don't you start with, how about the timing of Inga's murder?
What?
This whole case is built on a single premise, that Inga was murdered after Dhurke entered the tomb. But what if that's not true?
Like, if our assumptions are all wrong? Just might work.
Well,
Don't keep us waiting, Defense.
Dhurke became the prime suspect because it didn't seem probable that there was a third party at the scene of the crime. But there is another question we should ask ourselves at this time. Was Minister Inga really killed after Dhurke entered the tomb?
What nonsense is this?
Setting aside the assumption that the murder occurred after Dhurke arrived on the scene opens up the possibility of a third party committing the crime. The question before us is, when was Minister Inga really killed?
Probably after the body was found. No, before Dhurke entered the tomb. It has to be.
Isn't it possible that before Dhurke even set foot in the tomb, Minister Inga was already dead?
That would certainly make the possibility of a third party more probable. Why, of course. I fell unconscious right after I entered the tomb. Even if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had a clear line of sight to his body from the entrance. Which means...
You wouldn't have noticed his body either way. This scenario is entirely possible. And so we can't rule out the possibility of a third person committing the crime.
I see. Well, that certainly does make sense.
So far, so good. This might actually work.
Very well. I shall play along with whatever little game you have knocking around in that tiny mind. I'm starting to get quite bored of all this. I could do with a distraction.
Yes!
Let us hear some testimony that will shed light on when exactly the minister was slain. Bailiff, summon Rafa. Surely she has recovered by now. But what about me? Don't I serve a purpose anymore?
Oh,
I guess not. I hope you are feeling better, Your Benevolence.
Must I perform the divination seance?
What? Oh, no. We merely require your testimony this time.
How could my testimony be of any value?
Your Benevolence?
Princess Rafa seems awfully depressed.
After what she's been through, summoning her again is like rubbing salt in a wound. Being unable to perform the seance was probably the last straw.
I hope she doesn't pass out again.
Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, may I ask you something?
Of course, Your Benevolence.
I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara and about me?
From where did you hear such a thing?
From Mother, and only yesterday.
Rafa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people, so I told her what the truth really was, for it is up to a mother to discipline her child.
I see. Be that as it may, Your Benevolence, it has no bearing upon our trial here today.
I seriously doubt it. Hey, Blade King.
Blade King! Thanks for joining the chat, my man.
So, there is no need to let it trouble you.
I know.
Garan told Rafa about something other than Amara's status?
Sounds like it. But what could it be?
Rafa, the defense has proposed something preposterous. They somehow think your father was already dead when Dhurke entered the tomb. But I believe you can prove them wrong. Are you prepared to do what is required of you?
Yes, I am ready to testify.
Very well then, Your Benevolence. Your testimony, if you please.
All right, here we go. Time for a little witness testimony. What Rafa witnessed.
On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda. Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father heading for Amara's tomb. Then at about 2:45, I saw Bowhead and company enter the courtyard. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
Your second floor veranda?
Oh, she must be talking about that house facing Inga's private residence.
So that's the location from which you saw your father? And at about 2:30?
Yes, and shortly after that, you people arrived at the royal residence.
So, after the minister entered Amara's tomb at around 2:30, no one went in or out of there until the murder was discovered? Let me just take a look at something. Now, the time of death was approximately 3 p.m. Blood loss from the stab wound in his back. So, was his death possibly modified?
I don't know.
Was he stuffed into the cooler?
Well, we don't know.
Maybe. The tomb is closed to outsiders, so no one could have snuck in before the murder. That rules out any possibility of a third party lying in wait to slay my poor husband.
Or so she'd like us to believe.
Now hear me, you useless lawyer. Cease this charade and bow before me. For I, Queen Amara, shall finally have your head. Forgive me, Your Eminence, but first, let us allow the defense to question the witness.
All right, here we go. Cross-examination time. Give it your best, Rafa. What Rafa witnessed?
On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second-floor veranda. Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father headed for Amara's tomb.
Hold it! Hold it! Did your father seem different or troubled in any way?
Let me think. Oh, there was one unusual thing.
There was?
Yes, a shriek emanated from within my father's quarters.
Oh, that must be the dog.
After which I witnessed him bolt outside, his countenance drained of its usual color.
He screamed and he was looking pale?
Maybe that shriek wasn't his.
It's probably Albi's.
Maybe.
Because he was trying to chase around Shadow. What do you suppose happened?
I know not. Perhaps he had a bad dream.
Maybe it was a nightmare about being raked over the coals by the Queen.
It seems our young lawyer here wishes to hasten his journey to the Twilight Realm.
Sorry. That was rude of me.
Does the defense believe the witness's last statement to be important?
I believe it is. I would like the witness to add it to her testimony.
My father let out a scream and came dashing out of his room, his face pale.
Hold it! And why do you think he screamed? Was he surprised by someone who didn't belong there? Did anyone else come out?
I didn't see anyone else, just my father.
That last statement was seriously lacking in conviction. Should I press her on this?
I would say either press harshly or press... Yep.
Gotta press harshly. Your benevolence! Let's have some details. The more the better.
Details, you say?
Yes. For example, are you sure you didn't see anyone in the royal residence before 2:30? Well, is that a yes or a no?
For a devil! I've been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2 yesterday, yet I saw none other than my father. If only I had stopped stopped him then.
I think you struck a nerve, a rather obliterated one.
Maybe I pressed a little too hard. Still, that last statement seemed a little off somehow. So you didn't see anyone except your father in the courtyard after 2 p.m., huh? Please add that to your testimony, Your Benevolence.
I've been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2, but father was the only one I saw.
No, it wasn't. I think it was Albie's statement. Around 2 p.m.,
Shadu was surprised by a firecracker, ran into the courtyard, and stole Naina's hat.
Objection! Objection! Your Benevolence, you're covering for someone, aren't you?
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rafa, but you're not gonna like this. Well, the thing is, I have a statement here that you might find interesting. It's from a witness who claims that around 2 p.m., his dog got loose and ran into the palace courtyard. That's when the little fella stole this hat from someone.
That's Naina's. I mean, nothing, never mind.
Oh boy. You fool of a daughter. It seems the princess made a blunder.
So let me get this straight. This is Nina's hat, which means she had to have been in the royal residence at around 2. If so, then you had to have seen Nina sometime after 2 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, no!
Please, Your Benevolence, tell us what you really saw.
It isn't as you say, Hornhead. I saw Naina, and I saw that dingbat dog steal her hat from her in the front of my father's residence.
I knew it. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Because, my mother told me not to.
What? Would you care to explain, Your Eminence?
I requested she withhold said information, for it is of no relevance to this case.
Objection! You don't get to decide
Such incidents. If you disagree, then prove that it is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, I will. Your Benevolence, please tell us everything you witnessed when you saw Naina.
All right. When I saw that dingbat dog attack Naina, I ran to help. I raced from my second floor veranda down into the courtyard.
Wait, that means that while you were coming down, you took your eyes off the courtyard.
Yes, but only for a moment.
This is crucial testimony. If you took your eyes off the courtyard, it means somebody else could have entered the tomb without you ever knowing. Your Benevolence, are you sure no one else was there?
Oh, yes.
She's hiding something again. What about Naina? Were you able to help her?
When I got down to the courtyard, Naina was gone.
Gone?
Yes, and I never saw her again after that.
Any idea what happened?
That dingbat dog must have gobbled her up.
Oh, come on, sister.
He did not. I seriously doubt that. But how could Naina simply disappear while Rafa wasn't looking? Rafa must know something. The only question is what?
Why Naina disappeared? No, where she disappeared to?
Do you have any idea where Naina disappeared to?
What do you mean?
Well, during the time you took your eyes off the courtyard, someone could have headed into the tomb. And it just so happens that Naina disappeared right at that moment.
No.
Wait, you think Naina had something to do with the murder?
I don't think we can rule it out. It sounds like something had kept Nana occupied since the early morning. Plus, she was seen right before the murder, and then seemed to vanish into thin air.
You're right. And since she's Rafa's attendant, she could come and go as she pleased within the palace grounds.
Could Rafa's attendant really be the killer?
No.
I don't think so, but she's got something to do with this case.
But that would mean...
There's my father, and now Nana. These were the people I trusted most. How could this be?
Objection!
Objection! Do not heed their lies. Lawyers are a foul breed, quick to claim that a third party is to blame for a crime. Nana did not enter the tomb, that much is certain.
How could you be so sure?
When Nana's hat was stolen, that crazed cur spilled an urn full of water upon my husband's doorstep. Is that not right, Rafa?
Yes, yes it is. While that dingbat dog was tugging on Nana's hat, it tipped over the urn.
The bottoms of her shoes would have been soaked with water, and if she had truly headed out into the tomb with wet shoes, she would have left shoe prints along the way. But the only shoe prints to be found belonged to my husband Inga.
Huh? Then...
That's right. Nana never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters.
How do you know?
The tracks leading into the place.
Uh-huh.
It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Nana. That's right. Edgeworth and I did see some shoe prints in there. Now do you understand? Nana could not possibly have gone into the tomb. And that supposed third person at the crime scene is but a figment of your imagination.
Another glorious seduction! All hail the geniuses of evidence, Queen Garan!
Bow down before her glory, witless lawyer.
Did those guys fanboy any harder? But is it really true? Did Nana not go into the tomb?
Excuse me, but
Mr. Wright?
Your Benevolence, what time was it when that dog attacked Nana?
I believe it was about 2:15 p.m.
I see. Apollo, if Nana entered Inga's private quarters at around 2:15 and Inga came racing out at around 2:30, pale-faced and screaming, then...
I know what you're getting at. Yes, that might explain his scream.
Would the defense please share their theory regarding Justice Minister Inga's scream?
Certainly, Your Majesty. Minister Inga screamed because he was attacked by Nana. Huh. Maybe he was attacked by Nana. This would make the Justice Minister's private quarters the real scene of the crime.
Really?
I don't think so.
Nah.
Objection!
Objection! Does your idiocy know no bounds? The minister's body was found in the tomb. Are you suggesting that the body was moved?
Do I think the minister was moved from his private quarters? I think the possibility does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
I'd say there's no way that the body was moved. After all, there was an awful lot of blood in the tomb.
I understand if the scream was in reaction to Nana's attack, but Inga died in the tomb.
We need to explain how those two realities could coincide.
How are we supposed to do that?
Oh, maybe where he was stabbed and where he died were two completely different locations.
What do you mean?
It's just, let's look at this as simply as possible. Very realistic scenario, by the way.
Yep.
If the minister's body wasn't moved, he might have been stabbed by Nana in his private quarters, but then died in the tomb.
I see. On the one hand, that seems plausible, but on the other, it seems decidedly implausible. Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, what is that fool babbling on about now? Is this a riddle from one of those fortune cookies Americans seem so fond of?
Perhaps, but I believe he himself does not know what he means to say. In all likelihood, it was a poor attempt to confuse us. We should simply ignore him.
Objection! I wasn't finished yet, so hold off on the analysis, would you? The autopsy report never stated that the minister's death was instantaneous.
Yep, because if we take a look, it says approximately 3 p.m.
Right. So he could have conceivably moved from one place to another after being stabbed.
Oh my! Are you suggesting he ran all the way to the tomb with a knife sticking out of his back?
Wait a minute now. Well, yes, that's the gist of it.
And I don't think that's the
Hey,
case.
you remember the painkillers?
Yes.
That might be the problem.
You don't think perhaps he sat down and got hit with the knife?
I don't know.
Do you?
I don't think so.
In short, Minister Inga saw Nana with a knife, let out a scream, and when he turned his back to her to flee,
Right, and that's when he was stabbed from behind. Well, Your Majesty, does my theory hold water?
Such insolence! How dare you bore me like this?
Huh?
You are a humorless moron, spewing an endless stream of unamusing drivel.
I wasn't trying to be funny, Your Eminence.
Prosecutor, enlighten this ignorant clown in lawyer's clothing.
Your Eminence.
Ha! Nayuda?
You dull, slow-witted, putrid-minded lawyer. Perhaps you would be too stupid to notice you had been stabbed in the back. But a normal person would have noticed due to the excruciating pain.
Now hold on!
Allow me to teach you the meaning of pain.
Ah! Please stop!
Nayuda has a point. Normally, most people would notice a dagger in their back.
Ow! Yeah, I doubt someone could ignore pain like this.
Still, in this case, it's the word normally that we should emphasize.
Remember?
Apollo, take another look at the court record.
Uh-huh. Right. There must be something that explains this. Oh, yeah. There's a reason Inga didn't feel any pain, and the defense would submit evidence proving just that.
Very well. Please present your evidence. Why didn't Justice Minister Inga notice that he had been stabbed?
3, 2, 1. Take that!
Ah! Those are my father's painkiller shots.
The defense will explain the significance of this evidence.
Minister Inga suffered from terrible back pain, so he often injected himself with these. We're told that one shot in the back would make all his pain go away. With this, it's easy to explain what happened. Don't tell me you didn't know about these, Your Eminence.
You can't mean...
Minister Inga was stabbed in his back, close to where he usually injected the painkiller. Therefore, it's entirely possible that he hadn't noticed that he'd been stabbed.
What?
What's this? Then, are you suggesting Justice Minister Inga really ran off with a knife protruding from his back?
I am, Your Majesty.
So then, when I saw my father, he had a knife sticking out of him. I mean, with that cape of his, I couldn't see his back very well.
Yes, The knife was there. It was just plunged in so deep, you didn't notice it under the cape. Therefore, when you saw your father, he was already dead. Murdered by Nana in his private quarters.
Bukaka!
Holy Mother of Quine, are we dealing with the living dead here? Well, technically, he wasn't dead yet.
I know it's hard to believe, but this is just a plausible sequence of events. And once Minister Inga arrived at the tomb, he could have removed the knife and dropped dead from blood loss.
Nana killed my father? There must be some mistake.
The defense would like to call Nana to the stand.
Objection!
Objection! Ha! You seek to drag an innocent old woman to the stand with no proof whatsoever?
Well, there's no real proof, but...
What a tangled web of expedient lies you weave.
I can no longer tell fact from fiction. Who or what shall I believe in now?
I'm sorry, Rafa. All I've done is confuse you, but... I have a sneaking suspicion Nana's involved in this case, one way or another.
Just when I thought we'd blown this case wide open.
Well, there's no turning back now.
You fool of a lawyer. I know why you are so desperate to prove the accused innocent.
You do?
Yes, because he faces public execution if proven guilty, as shall you, under the stipulations of the Defense Culpability Act. From the moment you accepted this case, you have had no choice but to fight for your lives.
No. The simple fact is I've always believed that Dhurke is innocent.
Bah! Still you cling to your pretense. Very well, I shall offer you a bargain. If you would admit that the accused is guilty, right here, right now, I shall overlook your crime of abetting him, and you will not be subject to execution.
Is this some sort of joke?
Far from it. As Queen, I have the power to grant pardons, even to criminals like you. And with the wave of my hand, I can even reduce the severity of a sentence. Perhaps even for Dhurke, should you be willing to cooperate. She wasn't kidding when she said that she's the law here, but to flaunt that power in our faces like that, that's just wrong. Forget all that has transpired in our kingdom and return to your own country in peace. Well, will you abandon your defense of the accused and accept my generous offer?
If I don't take this deal, we'll be executed along with Dhurke if he's found guilty. What should I do?
Continue the defense.
Nice try, Quran. But it looks like you don't know what justice is made of. We won't kowtow to threats like that, Your Eminence!
Huh.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but I can't back down now. I don't want to drag you into this, so...
Don't worry. I'm with you, Apollo, to the bitter end if need be. And while I can't say I'm used to it, this isn't exactly my first rodeo.
Oh boy, here we go.
But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it.
Oh boy.
So keep on fighting, Apollo. You'll hear no objections from me.
You nincompoops! You die if you lose this case! Why would you even entertain the notion of continuing?
I believe that Dhurke is innocent. That's why. And besides, Trials exist to give the truth a chance to get out into the open. You can't give up just because you're afraid of some punishment.
Even if that punishment is death, does that not frighten you, Hornhead?
Who wouldn't be scared? I mean, just thinking about it makes me weak in the knees, to be honest. But as a lawyer, I have a duty to protect my client. I can't just abandon that.
A duty you're willing to die for? And yet, I...
Duty. It's a heavy burden, all right. Rafa looks like she's really struggling.
Your benevolence, as Crown Princess, you are destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy, and what is true and what is false, and most importantly, what role you must play therein.
I wonder if I am even up to the task.
But it's no surprise, considering the torrent of painful truths she's had to face. Very well, then. If the defense is prepared to face the death sentence under the Defense Culpability Act, then I see no reason not to continue with the proceedings. But I must admit, I see no grounds for doubting the accused's guilt.
Unless the defense has further evidence that would indicate a different suspect.
Do we have anything like that?
Well, lawyer, do you have any new evidence you would care to present? Or shall I have the executioner start his preparations?
If she thinks I can't do this, she's got another thing coming. First, I have some serious thinking to do. I say that new evidence indicating a different suspect does not exist.
Oh boy.
Such evidence does not exist.
Just as I thought. I was so hoping you'd present meaningless evidence and allow me to claim your head.
Glad I didn't walk headfirst into that one then.
So what now, Apollo?
Well, unless we can prove that Nana killed Inga, this trial is over. And so are we.
Isn't there still a way to get the proof we need, even without evidence? There is one way.
Oh boy.
You know, a key means of obtaining testimony here in Quine?
Huh? Wait, are you actually suggesting...
It certainly won't be easy, but it's worth a try.
The divination seance? Your Majesty, a crucial step in uncovering the truth behind this case has yet to be taken in this trial. But I'm positive that I can back up our claim with this one step.
You mean you will be able to prove that Nana killed Justice Minister Inga? And just how do you propose to do that?
With the help of a certain someone.
You need help?
From someone?
Well, I can't imagine who it could be. But I suppose I must ask. Whose help do you need to uncover the truth?
Her benevolence herself. Take that!
But that is...
Me?
Here in Quine, legal proceedings include the viewing of the victim's final moments. But that requires your benevolence's help. Such information is just as vital as any other piece of conclusive evidence.
If you're right about this, Rafa's powers should enable her to see the very moment Nana stabbed Inga.
It will be hard to watch your father's murder, but it's the only way to uncover the truth. Your benevolence, we need you and your power.
You need me?
Objection! Wretched simpleton! Did you not see what ensued in the previous attempt? You would only succeed in wasting more time. Or is it your goal to make her collapse again?
Objection! The princess said she was prepared earlier. Besides, It's her duty as royal priestess. I say it's all up to her now.
Am I prepared? Prepared to fulfill my duty?
Isn't a divination seance required at all trials anyway? If so, I imagine there'd be a problem with handing down a verdict without one. Indeed, it would be problematic. Under Coraine's law, a seance must be conducted before a verdict can be rendered. Such insolence! Yikes! Must you try my patience so? If I must dispense with that vexing law, then dispense with it I shall. Huh? As ruling sovereign of Kurain, I proclaim the following.
What's she writing about now?
Henceforth, the divination seance shall be optional.
What? She has the power to do that?
She just rewrote the law with a flourish of her hand.
Hold it! Mother, I do not wish for the trial to end like this. It is as the defense said. I must not neglect my duty simply because I am afraid. I shall go through with it this time. I will conduct the seance once more.
Such insolence!
Such insolence! Rafa, do not be fooled by his loyally guile. You are not prepared to witness your father's death.
But Hornhead needs my help.
Rafa, did you not tell me earlier? Did you not tell me you were prepared? But despite your grandiose posturing, you collapse in the most piteous fashion. Even worse, you have erred in your insights of late. For has not the barbed one there overturned them more than once? You cannot be trusted to keep your word, nor can you reveal the truth through your insights. So I say to you, begone! This sacred hall of justice has no need for such a worthless royal priestess.
Worthless?
Wow! How could she say that to her own daughter?
Because she's a bitch.
Yeah, she is.
So, Mother, you think me worthless?
Objection!
Objection! But Benevolence says she could do it, doesn't she? So I don't see why you have to condemn her before she's even made the attempt.
Very well, horned devil. If you really are so bent on having a seance, I shall give my consent.
Huh? Really?
However, should Rafa fail once more, you two and the accused shall all be executed on the spot.
Come again?
This is proving to be far more entertaining than I had anticipated. Well, lawyer, what say you? Will you wager your life and call on Rafa to perform a divination seance?
I think it's... Call on Rafa!
We have to.
I don't think you're worthless, your benevolence. Far from it, in fact. If you say you can do it, then I believe in you.
Hornhead, I do not understand. If I fail, you will be put to death.
I know you collapsed during your previous attempt. Get a medic over here!
Clear, clear.
I can't even imagine how terrible it must have been for you. But despite that, you are willing to try again. I have faith in that conviction, in that courage.
My courage?
So she was doomed to fail if she didn't have the courage to perform the seance. But it looks like she's got the determination to try again.
Right. And that's a bet I'm willing to take.
But it is as Mother said. I've aired my insights as of late. Not only have I failed to reveal the truth, I've also contributed to false accusations. Knowing that, can you still say that you believe in me?
Objection!
Objection! I wouldn't take stock in those words, Your Benevolence. Despite what your mother says, I don't think you've made any errors at all.
Huh?
In the trials I've been a part of here in Quirine, I would have never proven my client's innocence without your seances. Because even though they didn't always reflect the absolute truth, the insight they provided served as vital leads to finding the truth.
Vital leads? My seances?
So please, Your Benevolence, try to perform the divination seance one more time.
Objection!
Objection. Rafa, stop this madness. It is for your own good. You are ill prepared to face your father's death. Go, leave this sacred hall at once.
No.
What did you say?
I said no, Mother! For I am the royal priestess of Quirine!
I have no need for you now.
Even if you do not need me, Mother. Hornhead and this Hall of Justice do. He proved that to me by risking his own life. It is because of him that I now understand. The divination seance is my sacred duty. I must fulfill it, no matter the risk.
There you go, Rafa.
That's right.
Your Benevolence.
Mother taught me that the divination seance was a mirror reflecting naught but the truth. But I began to have my doubts after Bardhead disproved the insights it offered.
POV, family issues.
Yeah, indeed.
And now, I don't even know who or what to trust anymore. Father, Mother, even Dana. I had believed in them above all others. But I finally know now. I know in what I can trust. The royal priestess must debate each seance with the presiding lawyer and prosecutor. So that it can be interpreted properly. That is how I believe trials here in Quirine should function. Therefore, the Hall of Justice needs me. It is my power that leads trials toward the truth. That is my sacred duty, and I will never shirk from it again.
That right there, Your Benevolence, is the product of what you've learned in your struggles so far. The truth that you realize with your own strength.
As my sacred duty, I must ensure that it is fulfilled. I must have the courage and resolve to see it through.
Your Eminence, the royal priestess says she will conduct the divination seance. I see no grounds for you to forbid it. Unless, of course, you are worried that it might reveal something you find inconvenient.
Mother, I am done letting you have your way.
Rafa, you would actually rebel against me, your mother and queen.
Though I am scared to see my father's death, I must face my fear. That is what Hornhead has taught me here today.
Rafa, I think she's gonna take it from here.
I am the royal priestess Rafa Padma Quirine. and I am prepared to face my father's death.
Damn right, sister.
Your Eminence, it seems the princess is more grown up than you thought. Rafa.
Don't even have to voice act that one.
Well then, let us proceed with the divination seance.
The victim's final moments. This should be interesting. I wonder what Inga's memories are going to show us. All right, I think she's going to take it from here.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Hit it! The heck you...
Sorry about that. Let's see how this works.
Still so paranoid.
All right, I'm good.
One more time, with feeling.
Well, I think we've made pretty good time.
So far, so good.
All right, I think I'm feeling something.
Yep. It already looks more promising than last time.
Oh, yes.
One, two, three. Get it. Yep, there we go.
Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. We're gonna see what happened.
Oh boy. All right, let's see.
All right. So
Okay, so he's drinking incense and
grape juice.
Incense. Sour taste.
Sour.
So he's sitting at the table in the tomb. He's okay. So he's walking towards this. He's walking towards footsteps.
A
man's voice. Which voice? He's looking at the thing. Pain.
That's probably the moment he was stabbed.
Footsteps.
Oh, so it's blurred.
His face is blurred, so he's looking like he's going to try to shoot him. Explosion. So he shot his gun, and there was laughter?
Could it be the dragon snaps?
Oh.
You know the dragon snaps that Death throws?
Yep.
What in the...
A faceless being.
What the heck? Well, that's not very helpful. His face, it's just like that picture of the founder. Uh-oh. Could it be?
No. I think that's the last thing anyone expected to see.
Oh, Father, what was it? What was it you saw?
Are we to understand that this was the last thing the victim saw?
Yes, there can be no mistake. That was what my father himself witnessed.
How very strange. You don't suppose the Holy Mother possessed the accused and slew Minister Inga for planning a coup?
Fight after the Holy Mother?
Oh, Holy Mother, we are ever grateful for your blessings. Talk about a sharp left turn into the Twilight Zone.
You know, there's one thing in there that caught my attention.
Laughter.
I think it's Dad's laughter. That laugh. Who does it belong to, and why are they laughing?
Who knows? Though I suppose it could be Dhurke after he slew my husband.
Uh-huh. That figure didn't even have a mouth.
She did it. I think we're done here, lawyer.
Oh, very plausible explanation there. How so?
Well, what the heck? Never mind. You claimed that Minister Inga was stabbed in his private quarters, and feeling no pain went to the tomb where he eventually fell dead. But this seance vision proves he was stabbed in the tomb and felt great pain, no less.
Oh, that.
Therefore, as I asserted all along, it was the accused who stabbed the minister in the tomb.
Everything just backfired big time.
Now, why does he not have a face, though?
I don't know.
Do you think perhaps she's tried to channel the founder before?
I don't know.
Wow. Gran has the devil's own luck, doesn't she?
Now then, I shall give voice to the soul of the deceased. Listen well and heed these words.
Insight. Rafa's insight.
At around 3 p.m., my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange. He was drinking grape juice while gazing upon the picture of the Holy Mother. He had been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dhurke's voice. The next moment, he was stabbed in the back and collapsed. My father tried to shoot his attacker, but he missed, and the attacker let out a laugh.
So what now, Mr. Wright?
It's up to us to knock holes in Rafa's interpretations of Inga's memories. In other words, we need to prove that her understanding of them could be mistaken.
Okay, we'll give it a try.
I always get confused with these. So what does story tell us?
He was drinking grape. Okay, he'd been waiting vigilantly when suddenly he heard Dhurke's voice.
He didn't hear any voices. He only heard footsteps.
That's right.
Well, that was his own footsteps. A man's voice.
Objection!
Yep, that's right.
Well, it may not be his voice. Your benevolence, there seems to be an inconsistency in your interpretation.
An inconsistency? Where?
Minister Inga is far too relaxed for what was supposedly about to take place. When he heard the voice you claim is Dhurke's, he didn't seem the least bit alarmed. He just kept looking at the picture of the founder. That's strange, right? He was waiting for Dhurke to arrive with the founder's orb, but when he heard that voice, he didn't even turn to look. Don't you think he would have been worried about being attacked from behind?
Then whose voice was it?
Well, maybe it could have still been Dhurke's, but somebody disguised as Dhurke.
Maybe. It was likely someone whose presence wouldn't have alarmed him. Someone like a friend.
Objection! But there was no third party at the scene of the crime. Therefore, the voice can only have belonged to Dhurke.
Voice of a third party who wasn't there in a tomb.
Apollo, don't we have something that could reveal the owner of the mystery voice?
You know, I think we do. Something that Inga had while he was waiting for Dhurke.
His cell phone.
With it, we just might be able to figure out whose voice it was. I believe we can identify the male voice Minister Inga heard with this.
Okay, I gotta see if I can.
No.
All right. It's in his photo.
Yeah.
That's my father's.
I know this must be hard for you, but could you please look at this photo? There's something there that could point us toward the identity of the voice. This is the real source of the man's voice. The cell phone.
Yep.
Take that!
Take that.
A cell phone?
Right. I believe that the voice the minister heard was of a call on this cell phone.
I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. What is your eminence's view on the matter? I concede the possibility.
Then it seems I must refine my vision.
All right, here we go. Man's voice, subordinate's voice.
It appears that the voice belonged to one of my father's subordinates.
Whoever that may be. Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them then? Why do you suppose he was talking to one of them then?
My father had members of the secret police positioned throughout the palace. They were supposed to contact him as soon as they saw Dhurke and the rest of you.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Your benevolence, I believe you have an insight to revise.
I know, Butthead. Don't presume to tell me how to do my duty.
Insight revised. And my father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace.
So the voice was coming from the phone. That's good to know. But there might have been other sounds coming from the phone. Sounds that could be clues. Let's take another look at Rafa's insights and really focus on the various sensations.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this now.
I'm still doing story mode because I have no idea how to do this.
Yeah.
Sorry, drinking grape
okay,
juice.
the focus is my father then took a call from a subordinate at the palace. And we're gonna see. Let's see. I took a call from a subordinate.
I think we're going to still do the whole... I think we're still going to point to the voice.
Subordinate's voice. Not yet. Lion's roar.
What the fuck?
The sound of the war band.
He was in the bazaar.
I hate to break it to you, Your Benevolence, but you misinterpreted something again.
What do you mean? Again?
Smooth move, Apollo. I think you just hurt her feelings. She may put on a brave face, but she feels more than she lets on.
Let me rephrase that, Your Benevolence. Your interpretation of your father's phone call to his subordinate at the palace is inconsistent with his final memory.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, that's what that explosion is.
A lion's roar could be heard over the phone.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
I know what happened.
Yep.
So check it out, Jack. So right about the time that that whole explosion went off, the cell phone was still active, and there was Dats laughing.
Yes, that's
So, oh my God! So we don't know who really did it. Oh my God!
Lion's roar could be heard over the phone. Don't you find that strange? You claimed the call was with someone at the palace.
But hang on a second. That would mean that Dats was a subordinate of Inga's.
Let me ask you, do you keep lions there?
No. The only animals at the palace are little birdies and my pet frog.
Wait, that giant one in front of the minister's house is her pet?
Besides, there aren't any lions in Karine. We don't even have any zoos. A rather sad state of affairs, I'm afraid.
Well, I remember hearing a sound like that. The lion's roar coming from the phone is actually from something hanging out in the bazaar. Isn't that the cry of the war bat over in the bazaar?
Ah!
Your Benevolence, do you think you can clarify the voice for me?
Very well. I will now attempt to further refine my vision.
All right, here we go. Lion's roar, war bat's cry.
What's this?
Just as I suspected. It was the call of a war band. That means the subordinate Minister Inga was talking to was in the bazaar, not in the palace.
But why is it important where the call came from? What significance could it have?
He's right. Isn't it important to know where the call was made from?
It's very important.
It's actually very important. Knowing that the person on the other end was at the bazaar means... It means that the loud explosion might not have been the sound of a gunshot.
But I can think of no other item that makes such a noise in the area.
Oh yeah?
Go ahead, Apollo. Tell her. Tell Rafa the real source of that sound.
Will do.
Well, Hornhead, I'm waiting. What was the true source of that explosive sound?
The snapshot dragons.
Okay, I'm trying to find out where they are.
Okay, so maybe it's from something else. It's Albie's statement. Firecracker, remember that? That's what it was.
What is that?
It's Albie your guide's statement. In it, he claims that Datsa Rebel threw a firecracker at him. He claims that Datsa Rebel threw a firecracker at him while he was at the bazaar.
Then,
Yes, the sound heard over the phone was a firecracker exploding.
Objection. And yet, a bullet was found at the scene of the crime. A bullet fired from Minister Inga's gun. How do you explain that?
Well, you don't know whether it was fired during the course of the crime, right? Or do you have evidence that proves when the pistol was discharged?
No, I have none. Wait a second. If that loud bang was a firecracker, then could that laugh at the end have been... No, it can't be.
Oh, it can, and it is. The laugh came from none other than the Joker who got a kick out of startling Albie with his dragon snot snaps. That happy-go-lucky, that's a rebel.
what?
Someone should really put a leash on that guy. I shudder to think how one man can be at the cause of so much trouble.
Hey there, AJ, PW. Y'all can thank me later.
No one asked for your commentary, Mr. Rebel. Your benevolence. Do you need to revise your insight?
It would appear so.
All right, insight revised. My father then took a call from a subordinate at the bazaar. Well, the true source of that loud bang was the firecracker Dats threw.
So, do you think that Dats was probably the subordinate?
And that final act belonged to none other than Dats himself. Oh.
Well, this changes everything. Let's go over the details of Rafa's insight again.
Okay. I think I got this down. Time to find another inconsistency.
The foreign country plot was just an excuse to make the stupidest name puns, for real.
Yeah.
Yes, that is one thing I've noticed.
Absolutely.
So dumb. All right.
So, around 3 p.m., my father was waiting in the tomb to make the hostage exchange.
Really? So that's what was going on here. Footsteps. Make the hostage exchange. Subordinate's voice. Warbad's cry. Dog's bark. Pain.
Footsteps. He was looking at the blind face. Or was it... Explosion.
Objection!
Objection!
So he heard, okay. The explosion was heard.
Your benevolence? There's a glaring problem with this insight.
The explosion was heard after he closed his eyes.
Huh?
There is?
You stated that the murder happened at around 3 p.m., which is right around the time my client arrived on the scene. However, now that we know what the source of the loud bang is...
Uh-oh. Hang on a second.
And around 2 p.m.
At around 2 p.m., Shadu was surprised by a firecracker, ran into the courtyard, and stole Nana's hat.
Oh, dear.
Now that we know the source of the loud bang is, your insight conflicts with a certain piece of evidence.
I suppose I have to ask the obvious here. What evidence conflicts with the claim that the murder occurred at 3 p.m.? The statement, obviously.
Gotta be. That's the third time this case.
I'll be your guide statement. Again?
Yes, because to summarize what he said, at around 2 p.m., Shadow was surprised by a firecracker and ran into the palace courtyard.
Around 2 p.m.?
That's right. 2 p.m., not 3 p.m.
Are you suggesting?
I think you know where I'm going with this.
Hang on, there's something else we gotta take a look at. Look at this. A picture taken at around
2 p.m.
2 p.m. with the channeling right. Brother, if this is not evidence that she changed into somebody to kill that dude, she's the culprit. She absolutely is.
She has to be. I think you know where I'm going with this. Datz's laugh, the cry of the warband, and the bang of the firecracker were all heard right before Minister Inga's death. Thanks to Albie's statement, we can put a definitive timestamp on all of these sounds. Therefore, what this vision shows is that it's extremely likely that the deceased's final moments were at 2 rather than 3 as we had originally thought. That photo's an alibi, though.
Dare I ask?
Oh, that's true.
It means the murder took place a full hour before Dhurke entered the tomb.
Pukaka!
How can this be? Are you saying that I, the very personification of the law, have been mistaken?
Now you see why justice will always prevail. What's going on here?
Peace. Peace, I say. Now then, Defense, I must remind you that the figure of the accused was clearly shown in the vision. How do you explain that?
I wouldn't say it was clearly shown. After all, the figure didn't actually have a face.
Ah, you're absolutely right. Without a face, we can't be certain of who it was.
Furthermore, need I remind you that if the vision is from 2 p.m., Dhurke was still with me and Mr. Wright, which means this faceless figure couldn't possibly be him.
So then, what are we to make of this 1 hour difference?
Wait! 2 o'clock? That's when my mother was performing the rite of channeling.
Uh-oh.
The palace guards had all been reassigned to guard the channeling chamber for the rite. Don't tell me.
The royal residence. They would have been virtually unguarded.
Which means the real killer could have easily slipped unseen into Amara's tomb.
Defense, are you saying that this is someone disguised as the accused?
That's exactly what I believe, Your Majesty.
Objection.
Objection.
Preposterous. Disguises cannot deceive the memories of the dead. That the face did not appear this time is mere happenstance. Had it appeared, such subterfuge would have been as clear as day.
He's got a point there. Anyone who knows about the divination seance would have tried to hide the face. Nevertheless, our killer openly appeared before Inga. The question is, why?
Apollo. Maybe the killer could afford to be so bold because they knew their face wouldn't show up in the seance vision.
What?
It's possible that the killer dared to dress in Dhurke's clothes and stand square in front of Inga.
Precisely because they knew they couldn't get away with it.
Just read that again.
Precisely because they knew they could get away with it. But how could anyone be so sure of something like that?
A long time ago, I heard of a cognitive disorder that impairs a person's ability to distinguish between different faces. What if Inga had it?
Then
Are you saying that this is literally how Inga saw the world? Yes. We can't normally see through the eyes of others, but in this case, we can. And if he had that disorder, I imagine this is how faces appeared to him in life.
Okay, let's say that the killer knew that Inga had such a disorder. They could definitely use it to pin the crime on Dhurke. But
if you're wondering about how to prove that Inga had it, you already have what you need.
really?
Well, Defense, do you have anything to show to this court?
Yes, I believe so. Frankly, I have no idea what Mr. Wright means, but I'll look the evidence over again.
All right, hold up. So let's see. Behind, dagger and snake, stuck it back with a knife. Staying with the victim's blood. Okay, make pain disappear. Okay. Dhurke, long hair, eye patch, blue clothes, purple hat, glasses, diamond-shaped tattoo on forehead. Wait a minute. Diamond-shaped tattoo on the forehead.
What?
Uh-oh.
Yikes, bro. That's the piece of evidence right there, isn't it?
That's the one. That's gonna pin Nana right to the... Wow. What explains why the face of Minister Inga's killer is absent in his seance vision?
3, 2, 1. Take that!
A notepad.
Yes, it was found in Minister Inga's room, and it holds the answer we're looking for. As you can see, it's filled with detailed notes on various individuals, what kind of clothes they wear, hairstyles, and other discerning physical characteristics.
So it's a total mystery. And this is connected to the faceless nature of the killer. How?
The vision we saw was exactly what Minister Inga saw with his own eyes. It is he who saw his killer as a person without a face. In fact, this is how he normally saw everyone around him.
What's this?
I believe Minister Inga had a disorder that prevented him from recognizing faces. It would explain to the faceless being and why he needed a notepad full of people's physical characteristics.
Now that I think about it, my father was always terrible at remembering people. By simply changing my hairstyle, he would fail to recognize even me.
Your Eminence, you knew that your husband had such disorder, didn't you?
He never wished for it to become public knowledge. But I suppose there is no use in keeping quiet about it now. It is as you say. My late husband had a special disorder that hindered his ability to recognize faces. The medical term for it is
Prosopagnosia.
prosopagnosia.
Mr. Wright was right.
The memories of those afflicted with such disorders in life do appear strange at times. There is precedent for this.
So the killer likely knew about the disorder and used it to their advantage.
Right. So there's someone who is both knowledgeable about the divination seance and aware of Inga's affliction. Your Eminence, who knew about your husband's condition?
A small number of servants who tended to his needs, and me. Surely you are not about to insinuate that I committed this crime.
Oh, no, Your Eminence.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Still, could she have done it?
Garan has an alibi, remember?
Oh, right. She was conducting the rite of channeling at 2 p.m. What if it was somebody else? In that case... Your Eminence, does Nana know about Minister Inga's disorder?
Maybe, okay, could have been Maya Fey doing the channeling?
Wait a second. Who knows?
Anyway.
Of course she does. She is our head servant.
So as head servant, she knew about Minister Inga's condition, and as the princess's personal attendant, she is familiar with the divination seance. If these two facts together don't make her a possible suspect, I don't know what would.
Objection!
Objection! You witless lawyer. How quick you are to forget the facts.
Facts like
when Inga was last seen alive. You claim he was slain at 2. Yet that is impossible, for Rafa saw him at 2:30.
Oh, we did completely forget about that.
No, there must be some mistake.
So you see, the murder could only have happened at 3 p.m., the hour Dhurke entered the tomb. There is no other answer to this puzzle.
Why don't we ever get to make up answers like Quran makes up laws?
Guess it's back to square one.
Where did we go wrong?
I don't think we're the problem. We just seem to be short one piece of the puzzle. Our deductions so far explain everything to a T. Everything except for Inga's sighting at 2:30.
I see. Without that final puzzle piece, all of our deductions fall apart.
Apollo, if Inga's sighting is the only anomaly, we'll just have to find a way to make it fit into the bigger picture.
Time to think outside the box then, right? Let's see. It will be impossible to see Inga walking around after he'd been killed. But what if there was a way to make people think he was alive even though he was dead?
She channeled him. Like a way to make people witness the living dead?
Sounds like some kind of TV show. Things like that don't happen in real life.
Apollo, did you just...
I did! I figured it out! I know how to make people witness the living dead! Your Majesty, our deductions weren't wrong after all. Despite Minister Inga being murdered at 2 p.m., he was seen headed into the tomb at 2:30. And I'll tell you how.
I certainly hope you will, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Minister Inga her benevolence saw was in fact someone
channeling him.
It was the deceased being channeled. It's the only way a man who was already dead could have been seen by her benevolence.
That's channeled, you say?
That's right. And there are only 2 people capable of spirit channeling here in Quran. Her Eminence Queen Amara and Maya Fey. It's possible that one of them was channeling the minister.
It would seem that you are ever bent on making me party to this crime. Prosecutor, what was I doing at 2:30 p.m., the time at which my husband was seen?
Eminence, I believe you had completed the channeling rite and were having a tea with the king of the neighboring realm. There would have been many attendants there, too.
Ryuta has to keep up with her schedule too? What doesn't she make him do?
Then that leaves only Maya.
Yeah, it does.
But why would she channel him?
Maybe someone was forcing her to use her power toward nefarious ends?
Or maybe she tried to use it to get, well, when they found her, she was still tied to a chair, so she couldn't possibly have done it.
I don't know. The real killer could have been threatening her.
That cannot be.
So then, Inga's scream, that was probably from when he woke up from being called back to this world. After all, that's when the flow of time would have picked back up for him after he died.
So Minister Inga probably leapt to his feet, thinking he just had a nightmare. Then realizing it was almost time for the hostage exchange, he raced off to Amara's tomb, not even realizing he was already dead.
Then, her benevolence really did see a dead man running. Using the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit a crime. How can this be?
The defense calls Ms. Maya Fey to the stand.
Well, Your Eminence, will you allow a new witness?
It matters not. Either way, this lawyer shall soon know the truth. He will know just how much of an imbecile he is in the face of my infallible arguments.
Insult me all you want, witch. But you'll be eating those words when I expose the truth.
Very well. Let us adjourn until the next witness is ready.
Oh boy,
Ugh.
this is getting juicy. Well,
To be continued.
yep, I think this is a good time to stop the proceedings. So, man, this is so meaty.
Well, tune in next time we say we're ready for voice acting when we continue the trial of Dhurke Sahdmadhi. Good night. Yeah, good night, Z-Wave, and thanks for tuning in, my man.
Yeah, thanks so much for your support, and yep, we'll be back at this yet again. Either we're gonna do Wednesday, Saturday. Keep post on the Facebook page. We will tell you when. Until then, I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers, and we are for real.
Top guys out.
Ciao.